This girl went viral with this video showing some kind of visual mind map AI magical tool called Poppy. When I went to check Poppy AI out for myself, I was curious if Poppy AI is this magical game-changing AI tool that it claims to be. I coughed up the business expense so that I could try out Poppy AI for myself and share what I think about it with you. If you're new here, my name is Meredith, and this channel is dedicated to helping you look good, sound good, and feel good on camera so that you can build your thriving go-to video brand. I'm kind of a nerd about exploring new AI tools, especially since mostly what I use AI for is saving me a ton of time as a small business owner and as a content creator. But I'll give you the spoiler alert right up front. Is it worth the cost? It's going to be completely dependent on what you need it to do for you. I really thought that I would sign up for a month, check it out, then probably cancel because it is rather pricey. And I still have some time in this first month, but I think I'm going to keep it for at least a few more months, especially because of 3 features that I'm going to share with you that I'm just not finding in other AI tools. And yes, I put my affiliate link down in the description so that you can check Poppy out for yourself if you feel like it's going to be a right fit or you just want to play around with it because it is kind of cool. So what the heck Poppy, like for real? So I'm going to give you a real life example here. And this is just some research and planning I was doing based on some new updates and announcements that YouTube made recently to the YouTube platform. And there was a bunch with a whole bunch of different rollout dates, and some of them pertain to me and some of them don't. And instead of watching a bunch of videos or listening to a bunch of podcasts, I just grabbed the links for a bunch of YouTube videos from some reputable creators and like from YouTube themselves, in addition to the announcement like on the actual YouTube blog site, and also a podcast episode where YouTube's global head of creators, Kim Larson, I think it was interviewed on the Creator Upload podcast. And you can see I threw them on here like a whiteboard and then tied each one directly to this chat window, making a little flow chart here. Now you can see how all of these pieces of media are like feeding this chat window over here. And this looks a lot like a regular chat GPT window, right? So I can actually choose whether I want to use Claude or GPT-4o or GPT-4o mini. And then I just asked questions about all of these different announcements that were made on YouTube and had it bullet point them all out for me. So some of them are relevant for me, some of them aren't. So the ones that are more relevant, I asked it to summarize in more detail. Some of these I asked specifically like for like, what did Sean Cannell say about shorts? You know, like just to get all of these different point of views so that I could quickly have an understanding of what the announcements were, what they mean to me, what they're going to mean to my clients and students inside Video Brand Academy. And then I was able to concisely deliver that information to my clients and students so that we're all up to date on what these new features are, when to expect them, how they're going to affect us, and how we can utilize them to, grow our channels. But you can do more than just, add links to YouTube videos and blog posts. I'm going to pop over to one of my other boards. So inside Video Brand Academy, every once in a while, I'll take a screenshot of questions that people ask, or I will ask a question and then people will respond. So I asked this question, when it comes down to actually being on camera, what's something that you wish you were better at? And then I screenshotted all of the responses and brought it into Poppy. And then I used the chat window to ask questions about it. Like, what are the main struggles that my clients are having when it comes to being on camera? It listed them out for me like in bullet point form. I also have a new member assessment for new Video Brand Academy members that I have in a spreadsheet here. I tied the spreadsheet to the same chat window to ask the same question, like what are some of the reasons why you joined Video Brand Academy, and what are you hoping to achieve, and things like that. So when I say it's like a research assistant, That's what I mean. It can take a bunch of sources of information and summarize it for you, or bullet point it for you, or organize it for you so that it's easier for you to utilize. I did get a little crazy over here and I added every single one of my YouTube videos for the podcast, the video podcast episodes. I brought them all in and tied them all to this one chat window, but I haven't asked anything of it yet. So let's give this something to chew on. All right, so I'm just asking it, if you're brand new on YouTube, what are the top 5 areas you should focus on that I recommend based on these videos? So imagine if you were like, oh, Meredith has a lot of content in this video podcast. I don't want to watch every single one of these videos, which honestly, you should. But if you didn't want to have to do that, you could add all of them to Poppy and then ask it questions and let it sort of curate the content for you. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but up here on the top right, there's this bar that's measuring the number of credits used. And basically what it's doing is capping the number of chats that I can chat. So right now I have 472, and I just switched over to the ChatGPT 4.0 model and asked it to try again. You're going to be charged credits, not even based on the chat, but based on the number of things that you have connected to the chat. And they do explain over here like how your credits are used. But on the sales page for Poppy, it does not say anything about credits or being limited in any way. In fact, it says you plus Poppy AI equals unlimited. It doesn't say anything about, being like 1,000 credit cap or what is a credit like really worth. And even in this, how does it compare to ChatGPT versus Claude? There's a checkbox for multiple AI models, collaboration, import PDFs, all that stuff. But like with ChatGPT Pro or Claude Pro, you're not capped at 1,000 chats. So I don't think this really accurately compares. And I think if you use ChatGPT and or Claude quite a bit, I don't think you can just cancel those accounts because you're probably still going to want to utilize the unlimited nature of them. And Poppy is just not unlimited. If you reach your 1,000 credits, you'll have to wait till next month or upgrade to a power user plan to unlock more features. I don't even know how much that costs or how to even upgrade. As of right now, I'm still kind of playing around with it. Really disappointed on the credit usage, but I think maybe I'll use less credits when I'm not really playing with it and I'm just actually using it in my like everyday content creation and businessy stuff. Now, I mentioned that I thought I would use this for a month and try it out, but I really think that I'm going to continue using this. And here's a couple of the reasons why. I have a pretty click happy post-processing process for my YouTube videos. What I mean by that is I upload the transcript, I then take the transcript, I have a collection of custom GPTs, and I let all of those things like run. And with Poppy, you can't access your custom GPTs, which is a bummer, but you can take your custom GPTs and turn them into text boxes, tie those text boxes to a chat box, and then all I have to do then is bring in the link to the YouTube video. I don't even have to transcribe it because it does that for me automatically, or I'm not sure if it transcribes it or if it grabs the transcription from YouTube, but either way, it eliminates a bunch of steps and a bunch of clicking and a bunch of copying and pasting, because then all I have to do is grab the link to the video, plop it in here, and then tie it to the chat windows. And I can kind of have these chat windows all kind of working simultaneously, but it's all in one whiteboard. It's all in one window. It's like you don't have 21 different tabs open in your browser. Another thing I really appreciate is that you do have access to multiple LLMs here. In fact, just like I think yesterday, they just added this 4.0 mini, which I think requires less credits from you. I'm not totally sure how that works, but personally, I love flipping back and forth between ChatGPT and Claude because, sometimes Claude just does a better job of writing like a human, but then ChatGPT can do other things better. And so to be able to utilize both of them all in the same chat window, all on the same board as a visual person, it's kind of brilliant. So that's how I see Poppy saving me a whole lot of time when it comes to my actual content workflow. And it's obviously, brilliant for researching topics when you have a lot of information and you can bring it all into one place and summarize it for you. But the other area where I think Poppy really shines is in brainstorming and helping you organize all of your own ideas. For example, sometimes I know what I want to talk about on a podcast episode or in a YouTube video, but I don't want to sit down and write it all out. So I can hit record. I can say I'm thinking about making a YouTube video or a podcast episode about making pro-looking videos without a professional setup. And I already pasted in a bunch of my notes in here that I had written down in other places. I also took a screenshot of some notes that I had. I could import screenshots from my phone if I wanted to do that. And so I can just record myself riffing on this idea. It's going to transcribe it for me. And I have this prompt here that I use all the time when I'm riffing on ideas. I will sometimes be driving in the car and I have ideas for a podcast episode. I will sometimes just record myself using a voice memo, and then I have a custom GPT that can bring all of those thoughts into something that's actually a cohesive episode. So it's going to take my prompt up here that I've given it, hopefully, because I've labeled it as a prompt. It's going to take my audio, it's going to take my screenshot here, and it's going to take the text that I gave it as well. And since I have my prompt programmed for my outline of my podcast episodes, it already knows how I need it laid out. It already knows the exact bullet points and everything that I need to have here. So it takes all of those thoughts and basically gives me an entire script outline for my podcast episodes. And so again, the visual nature of this is what kind of makes it magical, because otherwise I would only have my voice recording, or I would have my notes. I wouldn't have a voice recording, notes, and a screenshot that I could just pull in and make sense out of. But I would like to know what other examples Poppy would be good for. So if you have any thoughts or questions or ideas or ways that you've used Poppy, let me know down in the comments. And maybe together we can determine whether Poppy is worth almost $90 a month. I mean, I can see for me, the big pro for me is that it's so visual. It's a way to be visually organized and have a place to go to kind of have a bunch of steps laid out in a workflow. I think that is brilliant and a huge time saver for me. Honestly, I think the limited credits is a huge bummer for me. There's definitely been times just in the couple of weeks that I've been using Poppy that I know that I need to have a series of chats with a chat bot, and I'm not going to Poppy for that. I'm just going to open up ChatGPT because I can keep going and I'm not going to be tapped out at 1,000 credits. So to say that you could use Poppy and cancel your pro Claude or your pro ChatGPT, I think that is a wild claim, but it does seem like the developers are improving it and adding features to it all the time. So I'm really curious where this is going to go, because so far Poppy AI really offers a fresh, engaging approach to planning and content creation, and just letting the messiness of all the stuff that happens in your brain and on your desk and on your phone kind of come together and make sense out of all of it. If you want to check it out yourself, it's kind of tricky to go through Google to get there because there's a bunch of different things that pop up. So just use the direct link down in the description below this video, and let me know in the comments if you have any questions for me that I can answer when it comes to using Poppy AI.